Greetings and salutations, I'm Zook, your lovable Norman, and welcome to Geeks Anonymous. In this video, we're going to show you how to survive in Ragnarok Online without paying a cent in 2025. So the first thing you're going to do is download the client. I play on IRO, the international Ragnarok Online server. You can make your account on warpportal.com and download the client there. I would also recommend that you don't use Steam at this time, as the Steam client is notorious for latency issues. Once you download and patch the game, you may see this error. If you do, just press play, spaghetti code. And now we'll go to choosing your server. There are 3 on International Ragnarok Online, or IRO. The 3 to choose from are Chaos, Thor, and Freya. Chaos is the largest of the servers on IRO, and if you used to play on several different servers, including Valkyrie or Loki, or even the Restart event like I did with Zook, you likely have a character that has been merged into Chaos already. If you're having difficulty finding the account, go to support.warpportal.com, and the GMs are more than helpful to help you recover your old characters. Thor was actually a migrated server from the Philippines Ragnarok Online when PRO closed and has a mid-population integrated with the IRO community. Whereas Freya was Warp Portal's attempt at a fresh start, but basically has been left barren throughout the years. There are a lot of rumors circulating saying that it will eventually be merged with Chaos, but we will see. It has low population, which can be a double-edged sword. This means that the economy isn't well established, so prices for merchants might be a little bit more pricey than what you would see on Chaos or Thor, but it also means that you don't have to worry about competing with other players as much. Now we're going to move on to character creation. You'll notice 2 selections, Human or Dorum. In the setting of Ragnarok Online, humans are actually known as Normans. This wasn't revealed until Ragnarok Online 2. However, many localization teams have changed it to Human for several different of the clients, as well as adapting it for the game and the manhwa itself. We'll be using Human in this guide. Now you're going to choose your gender. I know what you're thinking. It's an old game, some of it haven't aged well. There are actually some jobs that are gender locked, so you're going to want to take this into account when making your character. Always refer to the IRO wiki for information on this. And now you're going to choose your hair and your hair color. There will be more available in Lighthousen once you get into the game, so you are not bound to these choices. You can also later on unlock clothing and dyeing options, however, this is pay-locked, as you need an omni-colored dye ticket from the Kafra shop in order to purchase it. And now, we'll make our character. You'll find yourself on a boat to begin with, and some arrows pointing out to a portal. These portals will be the doors. Everything that transitions from one map to another will have one of these portals. There are some exceptions with NPCs warping you from one location to another, but for the most part, if you see one of these, it means you're going to teleport if you walk over it. Once we do so, we find ourselves in another section of the boat where we see this passed-out swordsman. For some easy experience, we're simply going to save this red-haired swordsman and exit the boat. We'll talk to the captain and inform him that there's still a survivor on board. After a brief introduction, if you want to call it that, proceed to the field and speak with the sailor. He will instruct you to fight 2 pourings and obtain wood that they have collected from the shipwreck. Once you do so, once again turning in for easy experience points, proceed through the portal and you'll wind up in your first town, Islud, the satellite city. And now we're going to distribute our status points. If you're unsure of how to allocate them, visit the IRO wiki and look up your specific class there from one of the many builds listed. At this point in the game, don't be afraid to experiment a little bit, as you can reallocate your status points and skill points for free at any point until level 99 in Islud instance A, B, C, or D. Note that you can only reset your skill points in the main instance of Islud or Prontera, and you must go to one of the alternate Islud instances for stat points. In order to get to the other instances of Islud, go to the NPC called Channel Gate, the one that looks like a wizard. Choose from the list either A, B, C, or D. Find the NPC called the Hypnotist, and that's where you'll be able to reallocate your skills or your stat points. You can do both of them there. There's also a one-time reset from the Mesmerist in the Eden group available at any level that will reset both status points and skill points. Once you're past level 99, however, you'll need magic stones and a neuralizer, depending on your need for reallocating your stats or skill points respectively. Magic stones and neuralizers, however, are pay-locked. However, it should be noted that even most pay-locked items can still be purchased from players, albeit at pricey amounts. Once you're finished allocating your status points, it's quest time. The first thing you're going to do is speak with Captain Croc. Yeah, he's the moose-looking guy. He's actually from the manhwa, believe it or not. He'll inform you of some basic commands and send you to the Siachura Academy, claiming that Islud is a great place to rest. On your way, be sure to speak with that red-headed swordsman we saved earlier in order to start the Reno and Lumen questline. Then be sure to speak with the ominous Dark Cloud who changes form to a Galapago and rides in your pocket, offering periodic buffs while they search for their friend named Salty. This buff is available to you every half hour until level 30 and gives you blessing and increased agility. There are also agility increase NPCs that you can speak to in the main instance of Islud that will buff you with increased movement at will. Head to the Siachura Academy, and on the way there you'll see a Siachura Academy employee named Hoon, henceforth known as the Apple Juice Guy, and he will give you some apple juice. Drink the apple juice and talk to Apple Juice Guy once more and ding, level up. Speak to the guard next to Apple Juice Guy and they will tell you to go to 3 waypoints on your map, marked by a plus sign. This quest is to introduce you to Flywing, as at each destination you will find that Lumen has already reaped the rewards. This also introduces you to Lumen's character a bit. He's a little competitive. Return to the guard and level up again, and gain some much welcome novice potions. At this point, I suggest you move the potion to the hotbar and reconfigure your shortcut settings if you haven't already. Then you can do the Play Dead quest. Speak with this NPC, and he will ask you to do nothing for 20 seconds. After listening to orders by doing literally nothing for 20 seconds, you will obtain the Play Dead ability. This grants no XP and will be removed once you change from a novice job, but it's fun and cute, so we did it. Head inside the academy and talk to Spracky, ignoring the receptionist in the front. If you see this NPC, do not speak with him. It will lead you to a quest that can never be completed or removed from your quest log and does not grant experience points. Speak with Spracky, once again not the receptionist, and she will point you in the direction of the extremely crucial Kafra services. Before we head to the Kafra services, however, there is an NPC outside of the tool shop, and they will ask you to sell a can to the merchant. After selling the can, return to the Kafra and level up for your good recycling habits. Thanks for keeping Rune Midgards clean. Now finally speak with the Kafra, and they will give you a parcel to give to Morris, or is it Maurice? If you're smart like my spouse, you would have done this prior to the previous step, but I am not a clever Norman. Once you leave the tool shop, you will find yourself sent to the main instance of Islud regardless of your save point. Head to the southwestern section of Islud and you will find a fountain with a Dorum named Mounds. Remove your cotton shirt. Ooh la la. Then have Mounds socket it. Then you must equip it when he directs you to Almond J, and select the second choice and enchant your newly socketed shirt. Head directly to the east where we will find the refinery owner Han. After speaking with him, speak with the refining machine Wajak to improve your knife. Han will then instruct you to do a short conversation with both Tade and Locus to evaluate their quests. Be sure to pick the last option on the dialogue choices, as spamming will cycle endlessly through the first option. Once complete, head southwest toward the bridge and speak with the contemplating archer to receive your second kill and gather quest. The archer will instruct you to collect 3 Jalapees and kill 2 Porrings. You will need to kill at least 3 Porrings to get the Jalapees, or be lucky enough that a Porring had looted another. Taking the western portal, you will pass an NPC that notifies you that sitting increases your HP recovery, and then we finally meet the man of the hour himself. There it is. Will instruct you to find a little boy who wants you to collect a clover for him and hunt 2 lunatics. Now it's time to slaughter the poor, defenseless, unassuming creatures requested before returning to the boy. If you happen to gain any achievements, promptly claim your prize in the achievements menu. In this case, we received a gift box with a Baphomet doll worth 9,000 gold when turned into a high-value trader. After turning in the quest, you will find that for once you beat Lumen, who promptly gets scolded by his mentor. Return to and then make your way back to Islud. Turn the Jellipies into the contemplating archer, and you should now be high enough level to change your job. It should be noted that if you happen to hit job level 10 before you reach this point, you should halt your progress and job change as soon as possible as to not lose precious job XP. Now, there are 2 ways to go about changing your job. You can either go to the Siachura Academy and speak with the mentor there, but this will cause you to lose out on the platinum skills. What I recommend is go directly to your guild hall. There are some NPCs in the academy that will warp you directly to where you need to go, but you're better off just warping to Islud or going via ship depending on where you need to go. In this case, we're a swordsman, so ours is conveniently right in Islud. However, Casveri, for instance, is changing to an archer, so they must go to the Payon Guild, 1 map north of Payon. Now that we're in the Swordsman Guild in Western Islud, you'll find the NPC to speak with behind the desk. If you're returning from the early days of Ragnarok, you'll notice that we no longer need to do the balancing quest to become a swordsman. This is actually the same for each of the first job. They have removed the first job quest requirements for each of the classes. That's hard to say. After you change jobs, if you open your skills, you'll notice that you have access to all of your platinum skills without having to do any of the separate quests. Now, if you wish to do those quests, simply job change at the Siachura Academy instead. And now it's time for our first farm, the Mysterious Bug. The Mysterious Bug is actually a spawn that spawns in each of the major cities: Prontera, Marok, Payon, Geffen, and Islud, and Alberta, probably. However, the best place to go is Islud because it's the smallest of the towns and the easiest to farm. You'll find it a lot easier just by going around the map. You will notice that you have to be in the main instance of Islud. You will not find them spawning in A, B, C, or D. You will also notice that sometimes you will have competition with other players. It shouldn't take you too much longer. It took us about an hour to farm the entire set, and that is without VIP, without any sort of XP buffs, and for 2 people. That's 2 full sets in that amount of time. So it's worth going out of your way and getting that full set, because you could get lucky and get it really quickly, and refining those at each level gives you a boost. So even though it warrants no XP, once it's refined, it will exponentially help you in your run. That is going to conclude today's video, and thank you all so much for watching. This took about 12 hours to edit, so a like and a subscribe would be extremely appreciated. And if you want to join our lovely pornings here in chat, just simply go to twitch.tv/geeksanonymous, and we'll see you there. Until next time, toodaloo.
Bye.